The 5 keys to success. As I've mentioned, my name's Emma Perro.
And my name is Judith Dowsett, and we are your facilitators tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and getting time out of your busy lives and your busy schedule. And I hope you find this information as enjoyable and as fun as we do.
We love it. All right, so we have joined together to do Stellar Coaching. So we'll just tell you a little bit about ourselves, because a few of you know us, but maybe we don't know you.
Yeah.
All right, so my name's Emma. I'm owner of Simple Fitness, Simple Coaching, Mums of Us Networking Group, and Super Kids Active Kids Program. So do a bit of everything, basically focusing on health and fitness as my bit of a niche. And I've been around for a few years in Wollongong. Got a little girl, Chloe, who's 10, and I'm a life coach, personal trainer, mum. What else?
Awesome woman.
And I'm awesome. Yeah, there you go. I even have a badge to prove it. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. An absolutely awesome badge.
Judy, over to you.
Okay, so my name's Judith Dowsett. I own Inspired Natural Therapies, which is just a natural therapies clinic. We do massage and hot stones and lovely treatments with aromatherapy. I also do hypnosis, NLP, and have married it all in with life coaching at the moment, and have a 3-year-old son and studying as well with the life coaching. And yes, all busy. So this information helps to balance all of those things out in my mind.
And she's awesome.
Yay!
And has a badge to prove it.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go, guys. Let's get into content.
So we may have chance for questions at the end, depends on time, but we're going to throw ourselves in. Get a pen and paper ready. We're not going to do death by PowerPoint. You'll just have a little pitch coming up just to prompt you. But basically, we're going to start off with the first key to success. Now, this can be related to anything. When we're talking about your personal lives, your business lives, your family, your relationships, anything. So just bear that in mind when we're talking about certain things. You can pretty much relate to everything. So for the first key to success, it sounds a little odd. It's a weird statement, but in the realms of NLP, the map is not the territory. Now, if anyone doesn't know what NLP is, it stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is pretty much how people tick. So in NLP, this is a presupposition. We all have our own map of the world. It represents what goes on around us and what things mean to us and what we believe or feel about them. These are our perceptions or what we understand as experience or reality. To give this a better explanation, the best map or representation of Sydney can't actually be the city itself. It can only be a representation of Sydney. It doesn't show the architecture, the beauty of the Opera House or the Harbour Bridge. It doesn't show the nature of the people and the culture. It is simply a representation of Sydney. This goes for people as well. We all have our own map. Our personal map is made up of the neural networks of our brains that are formed electrochemically throughout our lives. So every person's map differs. So often we'll talk about your map or our map, and that's what we're referring to. So your unique personal history acts as a filter on the thousands of sensory experiences you encounter day by day. No two maps are the same. Remember, our maps are based upon our values, our attitudes, our beliefs, our experiences, and our stories. Even when we think we're on the same page, we're still talking based on our own unique map. Now, I'm going to try and say this person's name. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the author of Flow, look him up, estimated that we have approximately 2 million bits of information per second coming through our 5 senses at any one time. Now, that's a lot of information. However, we cannot possibly be aware, well, our nervous system couldn't be aware of all that information. We would just be overwhelmed. We wouldn't talk, breathe, walk, or anything if we had to be aware of everything every second. Can you imagine that? By the way, has anyone seen that awesome film with Bradley Cooper in it? It's called Limitless. It's pretty good. Go and watch it and you'll see what I mean, apart from the eye candy. So what our brilliant nervous system does is chunk this information into manageable bite-sized chunks, around 7 plus or minus 2 bits of information. This is about 134 bits instead of 2 million bits. Notice the difference? That's a heap of information you're leaving out then. A tremendous amount of stuff is not being included in your world's experience. Isn't that amazing? To give you a better understanding, think about the World Wide Web. This is billions of pieces of information available to us, but it really is too much to take it all in. But if you go to Google and search for, let's say, health, you'll only get what you're searching for. And that's how our nervous system works. You only get what you look for in life. Another interesting thing to point out is that emotions play a massive part on this. Can you remember a time when you were highly emotional, perhaps stressed or upset, and you struggled to do something or forgot something? I know I have. Our nervous system is trying to help us by removing more chunks of information, but a lot of the time this actually doesn't help. So this filtering system we have is pretty cool. It's quite complex. It's a phenomenal piece of engineering. With about 2 million pieces of information going on, how does it know what to leave out? How does it know what to filter in? Well, it'll filter in whatever you think is relevant for now or for your future. Everything else is deleted, distorted, or generalized. Have a look at the slide. We've got that on there. Your filtration system, your nervous system, deletes, distorts, and generalizes anything it's not looking for. That is how our focus works. That is how the map is not the territory. I'll give you an example. Let's say 5 people witness a car accident. Each person will have a different view of what happened in the accident. They will each delete, distort, and generalize based on their own map. Here's another example. Johnny feels like he is unloved. Someone tells him he is great and very handsome. Johnny could do one of the following. He could delete what they say. No, I'm not. He could distort it and hear something else. He could generalize it by saying something like, they probably say that to everyone. As coaches, it is our role to help our clients recover these deletions, but more on that later. So, deleting, distorting, and generalizing is what we do in every area of our lives, our relationships, work lives, and even our health. Now, this can be an amazing mechanism and can work for us, or it can work against us. Because what if we're filtering evidence of success? You condemn yourself to keep repeating the patterns of non-success in your life. What if filtering in evidence of how you can create success, you are getting more of that result? Wouldn't it make it more worth doing something? Wouldn't it be doing something that you were willing to do? So ask yourself, what experiences are going on in your life that matter to you? Then what is it about those experiences that you are filtering out? More importantly, what are you filtering out about those experiences? The reason that it is more challenging is because you need to become more aware of what you're filtering out to know what you are filtering out. But how do you become aware of it? Oh, I'm so confused already. How do you become aware of it if you are not aware of it because you're filtering it out? Well, I'm confused. This is how you can do that. Think about the result that you want in that area of your life. Think about an experience that perhaps you want to change the results of. And what result do you want? Then ask yourself, who has got a great result in that area of their life and what did they filter in? What did they do? What did they believe? What did they notice? What did they tell themselves? How do they hold themselves? How do they communicate? What actions did they take? If you do all of that, you'll become aware of what you need to start filtering in. Here's another example of this so you can understand it a bit better. So someone walks past you that you know and doesn't say hello to you. Now remember, we're going to filter out our experience based on who we are and who we believe we are. Now you could say, oh, they don't like me. And we could tell ourselves that they're really rude. How did we come to that belief? What did we have to filter? What have we had to delete, distort, or generalize to come to that? Or maybe delete the evidence of the fact that they were frowning with their head down. Perhaps we had to distort them walking past and distort it. So instead of them walking past, it became that they were doing it in a huffy way. So we've distorted how we're actually experiencing that. What if we generalize it? Someone walks past and doesn't say hello. It always means they don't like us. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so what about if someone walks past you, doesn't say hello, and the meaning you give it is, oh, they must be really busy. You're going to be filtering different aspects of that experience too. You'll filter in. You don't delete the fact that they looked busy with their head down and they were frowning. You'll filter that one in. That will become part of how you experience it. You'll possibly distort it too. So maybe as they're frowning, they're walking past you, you think, wow, how can I support them? So it doesn't just become about them being busy. You move it to how can I support them? And you could generalize to say anyone who walks past without saying hello is generally busy and needs my support. It really is a different way of looking at it, isn't it? Look, same experience, just a different focus. How you choose to focus and what you choose to filter in will determine to a large extent the result that you will get in your life. Is there an area in your life you're not getting the result you want, and do you need to shift your focus? What do you need to start filtering in and noticing? Let's just talk for a moment on emotions. Okay, if something is challenging for me and I'm tempted to do overwhelm for a while, notice how I language, by the way. Okay, let me tell you about a belief I've got around emotions. I choose to believe that any emotion we have is by choice, which moves me to cause, but hang in there because Judy's going to talk about cause in a moment. So if you hear us say, what emotion do you choose to do? Do you do overwhelm or do you do self-pity? We're saying it deliberately. We're doing it to get you to cause. Yes, we're going to cover that in a moment. It's to realize that you're at 100% responsible for your emotions. It is really something that we do. We just do emotions. We have a say in the emotions we do. For example, if you didn't know the word depression existed, would you be able to do depressed or be depressed? In normal vocabulary, we should still be able to do it. Well, I doubt that you would because you wouldn't even know it existed. So in the terms of the map not being the territory, this is where it gets exciting. Use your thinking. What map would I need to move from overwhelm to do a different emotion? Then I could ask myself, well, if I don't want to do emotion, what do I want to do? Well, I could say do playfulness and willingness to be courageous. So I move to that emotion by saying to myself, what do I need to notice about this situation or challenge? Guys, this is one of the keys of success. And what I want you to appreciate is, where is the gift in this? Think to yourself, how will I grow through working through this challenge? How empowering and resourceful will I need to be? You can apply this to anything in your life. My map isn't, oh my God, here's another problem, yet another challenge. Man, I feel so overwhelmed. My map is now, I have an opportunity here to learn something. What a different way of thinking. My invitation to you is to start thinking about how you choose to represent the world to yourself, and are you representing it in a way that is working for you and getting the results you want? All the results and the potentials are available to you right now. What potentials are you choosing to see? Are you starting to see how powerful the success principle can be in your life? Are you starting to notice and hear the potential for transformation using just that one success key? And I wonder if you're getting a feeling within you that the potential for change isn't that the world needs to change or things need to be different around you. It's simply that you need to change your focus on what you're noticing around you. What an amazingly empowering belief to have. Okay, on to Judy.
Thanks, Emma. That was great. Okay, so this one is there's no failure, there's only feedback. This is one of my favorite ones. Actually, they're all pretty much my favorite ones. This one's really cool as well. So, by embracing this theme, you have the ability to become a learning machine. Adopting the perception you cannot experience failure allows you the freedom to be willing to play, explore, learn, and grow. So, if we take the emotion out of it, like Emma was talking about before, everything that happens to us, even what we don't want, is just simply feedback. It's just telling us we can adjust our choices, we can change our behavior and shift our belief, which in turn lets us experience a different feedback. It gets us a different outcome. By choosing behavioral flexibility, we can keep adjusting what we do and choose until we get the results that we actually want in our life. Instead of viewing feedback personally, we can use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. A person who keeps telling themselves, I can't, is searching for the evidence of failure. And like, some of the last principles, what you focus on is actually, what you get. And it just keeps reinforcing it in several ways. As you can see and hear, some of these principles and keys to success do actually overlap. A great technique to move forward with this is the awareness of our language, and to challenge ourselves with the belief that if our language created our experience and determined the result we get in our lives, and even more than that, the actions you are willing to take. For example, if you use or hear someone using words like the following: failure or mistake, or I'm not good enough, or I can't do it, or it's too hard, these are just beliefs. They're not set in stone. A mistake people can make is if they decide that is true for them, and maybe that belief is not really serving them, and they don't even question it. It becomes a true belief, an absolute, a certainty, and that is how it is all the time. Instead, we could hold a belief that does serve us. For an example, a belief like we are all capable of changing whatever we believe to be true about our world, ourselves, and everything around us. This is a belief that is going to serve us in a better way. Another neat trick is to change the word belief into hallucination. And it's not the hallucination in the desert with the oasis, it's just an expanding the flexibility of our minds to create a different outcome or belief which doesn't limit us. Because if we suggest this belief is a hallucination, it's not set in stone, and other possibilities can become available to us which can serve us better. Really embracing and appreciating that there is no failure, only feedback. Another trick is to look for outcomes instead of results. A result gets you a yes or no answer. For example, did you get the result? It's either yes or no. An outcome invites a discussion. So when you say, what outcome did you get? It then leads to an exploration. You can go, well, I got this outcome. What outcome were you looking for? Well, I was looking for a different outcome. Well, what do we need to do different to accomplish that? And so this leads into a line of exploration. It opens up possibilities. So once you start playing with possibilities and language, it creates a new experience for you. If you don't have a word for failure, what would become available to you? If you didn't know what failure was an option, what would you be willing to do? If it wasn't failure but simply feedback, what would you do differently next time? A great example of this is when I hear clients say, my New Year's resolution was to lose weight and get fit. It's mid-January and I failed. I'm never going to lose weight or get fit. Can you see how the language of this statement and how the client focuses on it will keep them stuck? If you ignored the failure in the goal she was trying to achieve and look at it as only feedback, there's a whole new perspective that you can look at this. This gives her a way out. She could then proceed like this. Well, it's mid-January. I haven't achieved my outcome of starting to lose weight and get fit. What do I need to do to create that? What do I need to do even more of? What do I need to do less of? What do I need to believe is true and possible? Who do I need to be to achieve this outcome by this date? And by beating yourself up or beating herself up, it creates a crap physiology. It gets the worries me, the self-pity thing, which leads to a crap self-talk and leads to a mindset of lack, spiraling down into stuck. Now, bringing this principle home to yourself, think right now of a mediocre challenge you have where you perceive you have failed. Just think of one thing, the first thing that comes to mind. Now, think of that challenge and say, yeah, that's not the outcome I really wanted. Now, just for fun, inject a bit of excitement and say, awesome, now I get to do it differently. And now I get to have the opportunity to learn even more. Can you see how the weight of failure is gone? Now let's inject some new beliefs that can serve us. Now, right now, as I'm saying them, I want you to just try them on with this particular issue that you have. There is always a way around something or through something if I'm willing. I have all I need within me now. There is a practical or spiritual solution to everything. I will find a way. whatever somebody else has achieved, I can do as well. Oh, excuse me for a moment. So now that you know there's no failure, only feedback. Oh, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. What an awesome opportunity to learn and grow. What are you going to do differently now?
Thanks, June. She's got a frog in her throat. All right, back to me. The third key to success. So this is what you focus on is what you get. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. This key goes to the heart of the results that we experience in our lives. What we focus on is what we get to the exclusion of everything else. We only experience what we search for because everything else is outside our experience. We've filtered everything else out. All right, imagine you're in a huge warehouse, it's dark, and you have a torch. This warehouse is pure potential. Every possibility and potential exists in the warehouse. Imagine shining the torch beam. What does it pick up on? It only picks up on where it is focused. What if you shine it in a corner where it is empty? There's nothing there. What will you think this warehouse contains if you see nothing there? Would it occur to you that it contained every possibility if you only saw the emptiness and space? Now move the torch to the left and notice it's filled with abundance. Not just abundance in materials, but abundance of health and happiness, and of love and relationships, and of sharing and personal growth. Now, what if you only ever shone your torchlight there? If it had been your only experience of the warehouse, what do you think existed in the warehouse? Now, of course, let's strip the metaphor and turn on the floodlights of experience the entire warehouse, and you'll see that all potentials and all possibilities are there and always have been. I think the possibilities with this theme are endless. A few examples for you. If you focus on how you fear a situation, what are you going to get more of? Of course, more of that fear. When you know when you tell someone to stop stressing, what do? They keep stressing. What about telling them to chill instead? What about I can't stop eating chocolate? What happens? You can't stop eating chocolate. What's what you're focusing on? It's pretty much like don't think of the color blue. Go on, don't think of blue. Try not to think of blue. It's what you're focusing on. Okay, don't think of a camel with a top hat on. No, really, don't think of a camel with a top hat on.
I can't.
What we focus on is what we get. Let's go on. Going back to fearing a situation, what if you focus instead on how you can appreciate this moment as an opportunity to learn and to grow? What do you think you might start noticing? Do you think you would experience it differently? How you approach something is what you're going to be searching for and what you're going to be focusing on. If you focus on how hard it is and how impossible it may seem, or how am I ever going to be getting there, well, that's what you're going to experience more of. If you focus instead on the opportunity, the wonderful gift this is giving you to learn and to grow, to become more of what you truly are, you'll see it differently. What if you did that all of the time? What if you moved your focus constantly to the opportunities, to the abundance, to the opportunity to learn and to grow, to give and to love? What if you did this on a consistent basis, not just moment to moment, not even occasionally when you remember, but all of the time? What results do you think that you'll start getting reflected back to you in your life and relationships? I think they'd be pretty amazing. Moving your focus is everything. For example, I know somebody who does overwhelm. To do overwhelm, they have to focus on the big picture, see how it's unsurmountable, focus on everything they are not able to do in this moment, and surprise, they're in overwhelm. Now, what if they shifted their focus to what they can control and influence now? Just take a moment and think, okay, what is within my capacity right now? Do you think overwhelm would go away? Of course it will. And what instead turns up is resourcefulness. Right now I can do X and Y and I can plan for A and B and dabble in K. And that's enough for now. It's a really empowering attitude to take. Okay, here's another example. Some people do self-pity. to do this, if you're curious, is to really focus on how people are not helping you and how it's really hard and how you think you'll never get there. Pretty much, if you do those three things, you'll move to self-pity. Of course, you're going to have to slump your shoulders at the same time. And what you're doing is focusing on this self-pity, and it won't create any results you want. Instead, shift your focus away from that and you will start to see change. Okay, now who says facing challenges has to be faced head on with total grit? Who says you can't approach with laughter? Judith can attest to this, being a laughter yoga instructor as well. She did forget to mention that. Yes, you'll still have to plan and you'll still know what outcomes you're aiming for and you take action. Choose your focus. Do you say or think, I want less problems? Then if you see a problem, you focus on it. Then do you think, poor me, why me? In fact, what I do when my backup is against the wall, I actually get resourceful. I don't do the self-pity story. I treat it as an indicator that I'm becoming more successful. So as you approach your day-to-day activities and even life itself, notice what you choose to focus on within that. Notice within the great tapestry of your life, there are millions of threads and thousands of colors and hundreds of tiny distinctive pictures and patterns to look at. But which ones are you choosing to notice? Which ones are you filtering into your experience? My next question is, are you filtering or focusing on the elements of that tapestry, the beauty of the tapestry to assist you in creating the most amazing outcomes you're looking for? And if not, shift your focus. Move your focus to what will empower you. Now, this doesn't mean there won't be any problems. Look, problems and mistakes are built into life. It's part of the package. Your mission in life, by the way, is not to rid of yourself of your problems. Your mission in life is to become the person who can earn them and manage them. It is not how do I dump the problem, it's how do I become the person I need to manage it. If we focus on something that causes us to feel fear, then what we can't feel is appreciation. Did you know that parts of the brain that deal with gratitude and fear cannot actually work together at the same time? It's proven science. They did a study on it.
Cool.
So if you're feeling fear, think about gratitude. You'll actually discover that you can't do the same thing at the same time. So to focus on fear is to exclude what we're capable of, what we can learn from this. So the solution is to move our focus to what we can appreciate in this moment. If we tap into that, the fear will tend to subside. Also, someone who constantly focuses on the mistakes of other people that they make or what's wrong in a situation, they're using what's called a judgment frame. The person who focuses on how somebody made the effort or how much they appreciate the effort that was made, this is called a forgiveness frame. No moment is going to be perfect on a consistent basis. Perfection only really shows up in rare moments and generally in nature. But we can appreciate each moment for the perfection that it is. If we simply know that the person is doing the best they can with the resources they have, that their intention is good. Make an assumption of the intention. Make the assumption that their intention was good. Notice what they did right and you will feel calmer. You will notice it is easier to forgive. You'll notice that life moves easier. It's almost like a let go frame. Haven't you noticed that people who get hung up on finding the fault and criticizing, that is their focus? They go hunting for failure. They filter in evidence of failure. Whilst it's quite fascinating, I often think, why would they do that? Well, some people do it to make themselves feel superior to others. If they find faults in others, it elevates them. What they could do is shift their focus to their potential, to attributes they have, to see the magnificence in themselves. This then gets reflected when they look at others. The more attributes you look for, the more that you find. For some, people think about what they can't do and what they lack. Their focus is on their limits. And as a result, they keep getting proved right and keep getting those limits. So my invitation to you as somebody who has taken this journey, and I'm still taking the journey, is to realize that when you move your focus, you make a commitment to shift that focus to thoughts and self-talk and beliefs that will serve you. You will get very different results. And remember, this is just science. It's simply neural pathways in action. If you're focusing on what somebody lacks or what you lack, that fires up a certain part of our neurology. And if you fire it up enough times, it becomes hardwired. It becomes a form of neurology that is easy to access. Have you ever noticed that some thoughts are just easy to access? you have them all the time. Well, that's pretty much hardwired neurology. Now, it doesn't mean to say it can't be changed. It just means that you need to be willing to move to a different part of your brain to fire up different neural pathways that focus around what you are capable of. There are things you are capable of. There are amazing things within your possibility, within your potential, when you make that commitment and make the decision to act as if they were. Okay, I'm done with that one.
Awesome, Emma. Thanks.
On to Judy for the next one. We like this one.
So now we're going to embrace cause and effect. And it's, if you can see our groovy picture, Emma conjured this up from somewhere. It's very pretty, isn't it? I absolutely love it. I've blown it up and I've got it in my clinic wall at the moment. So with cause and effect, it can also be seen, as you can see on the picture, it's above the line or below the line thinking. So ask yourself right now, which side of the equation are you on? Are you the type of person who is the cause of the things to happen in your life, or are you at the effect side of the line and have things happen to you? What do you think is more empowering, to be at the cause or to be at the effect? We are either causing something to happen or we are experiencing the effects of it. Even doing nothing is actually an action. It's all our choice. Now, before you go, everybody starts jumping up and down and saying, hang on, hang on, hang on, I am not the cause of everything that happens in my life. And saying, well, hang on, Jude, I didn't cause the drunk driver to drink the alcohol and swerve into the wrong side of the road and hit my car. I would agree with you. However, you are now at the cause of how you're going to react to that situation. Some people can have horrific things happen in their life and be able to handle it amazing. And some have one little thing happen, or what they might perceive as minor, and it absolutely defines them in a negative way. They will hold on to it for a long time. They can even hold on to it for a lifetime. So what makes the difference? The world is actually full of inspirational people who win gold medals at Olympics and they have no legs, no arms, or they have other disabilities. Or people who are just defying the odds. The difference is the cause. They hold themselves at cause. They say, okay, this has happened. And then they choose how they're going to decide to move forward in their life from there. Continually staying in a place of cause keeps us empowered. It gives us a choice. Even if you don't believe it's true, if you act until it's true, like Emma was saying before, you just develop that neuro pathway. If you do it again and again, regardless of our beliefs, if you just act as if it's true, it acts as possibility filters. They determine what we allow is possible or not in our lives. For example, if somebody believes they are not at cause for anything in their life, even though they haven't looked for a job, and spend their whole time blaming others for their bad luck, they're going to experience a certain type of world. Now compare this experience to somebody who believes that they are at cause. They will find a way to work. They won't blame. They will take responsibility. They will be proactive in changing the circumstances of their life. And they will have a more successful outcome. People who go through life on the effect side of the equation, they have reasons. They're absolutely full of them. They will be able to tell you why they're not successful. Stories like, it was my ex-wife, my parents held me back, they didn't buy me a pony, I don't get the breaks that I deserve at school, it was my boss, I didn't have the right shoes, blah, blah, blah. And, maybe it's true, but how satisfying is a life like that? How much joy, courage, love, and empowerment or resourcefulness can someone feel if they live with their stories, their reasons they can't? The only thing preventing you from achieving what you want to achieve are the stories you tell yourself. People who go through their life on the cause side of the equation have results. They get results. Believing this gives us maximum power to create the life you want. Now, I've snuck in another one, our little fifth one. And this one is a real pearler. This principle saved years off my life, off my time, of worry, procrastination, and overwhelm. This little pearler is what I've named the decision making key to success. Successful people actually only need 50 to 70% of the information to make a decision. They decide quickly and they change their minds slowly. Ooh, I hear you say. Now, what does everyone else do? They decide slowly and they change their minds quickly. And that was definitely me until I found this principle. In other words, they like what we say, they wait until their ducks are lined up. I was such a liner, ducker upper person. And what does that mean, you say, Jude? Well, if you watch nature and you watch the mother duck, she doesn't stand there and count all the ducklings before she jumps in the pond or crosses the road. Nope, she just does it, and they follow her. So here is the special equation of successful decision making, and this is awesome. When you're making a decision about anything, there's one step. It is it ecological? Which means, is it going to hurt you? Is it going to hurt someone else? Or is it going to hurt the environment? The second step to the decision making is, do I have 50 to 70% of the information? If it's yes, go to 3. 3 says, what's the worst thing to happen? Once you know what's the worst thing to happen, number 4, if that happens, can I handle it? If you say yes, then it's a no-brainer. How easy is that? Years of my life of drama has been taken off with these little steps. I wanted to know everything. I wanted all my ducks lined up, and I cannot believe how much time and energy I have back just by following those little principles. And it's so quick. Don't allow feelings to base a decision. Feelings can change, and so can emotional states. Like, if I'm looking at a movie, I can be absolutely howling my eyes out in a movie 1 second, and then the very next second, I'm absolutely laughing my head off. So emotions can change really, really fast. Just be clear on your outcome of whatever the decision it is that you're wanting to make. And again, just ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen? And can I handle it? This decision is going to, or is this decision going to contribute to my life, the purpose of my life, and my big why of my life? So, real quick recap. So, get your pens ready. When you're making a decision, whatever decision it is in your life, is it ecological? 2, do I have 50 to 70% of the information? 3, what's the worst thing that can happen? 4, if that happens, can I handle it? How's that? No drama, no brainer, easy. Love it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jude. So there are 5 keys to success. Yeah, so look, if anything of that resonated with you, or you felt that, yes, she was talking about me. No, she wasn't. We were talking about everyone actually. But, but if you felt that something came up for you, both Jude and I are available for complimentary coaching sessions, and I'll just put our details on the next slide for you. So our details are on there. As I said, they're complimentary the first session anyway, but you can contact us on our mobiles or on our emails, and you can do this face-to-face. You can do it on phone or on Skype. And basically, yeah, stay tuned. Check out the website as well, stellacoaching.com.au. We will probably have this webinar, if it's recorded okay, online, available to listen to again. And there are some CDs as well that Jude might want to fill us in on.
Yes,
on it?
we've got a few CDs. Your Core Identity, we've got a Relaxation and Let Go CD, and we've also got an Abundance Mindset CD that's on the website as well. We've also got workshops coming up. So if you're interested in learning more, and one of the great ones that we're doing is the Best Year Yet, which is, January's flying by, and I'm already hearing people saying, oh my God, I can't believe January's gone. Have you actually planned for this year? And we can show you step by step how to get what you want out of this year and have an action plan to get towards it. So at the end of the year, you're like, yep, you know what, Jude, that was the best year yet.
We've also got some awesome workshops on relationships coming up. And then in March, I believe, we've got relationships and hot sex.
Woohoo! And we all want that.
But yeah, stay tuned to the website. We've got the workshops, and they keep us on Facebook, and you'll see updates on there.
And we would love any feedback, any feedback you guys have. Please email it through. We would love to hear from it. Love to hear from you.
Good or bad.
Yes.
We're happy to hear.
Absolutely. Anything you like. And we just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight and just taking that time out of your life to be with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay.